Hi everyone, this is Tammy at Snowstorm Crafts, and if you're new here, welcome, and if you've been here before, welcome back. So today is going to be snippets. What are snippets? What are they used for? How to make them, and how to incorporate them into your junk journals. So if you're wanting to learn how to make snippets, or want to see how snippets are made, then you're at the right place. Okay, so let's get started. What I have is an example here. So here's an example of a snippet. I think it's pretty fun. And I had a request. People will keep asking me if I'm going to make another feather journal. And if you guys want to see my feather journal, I will post that on the end screen. You guys come check it out. I started off with the snippet here, and this is part of it. This is part of the cover part. And I just cut some of it off and, did that. But it's already purchased. Somebody already bought it. And I am working on making another one. So I figured I'd start with snippets with you guys today. And I looked up the definition. And it's like, what is a snippet, And it is a fragment, small bits, or scraps. So I figured that's exactly what we're working with here today. So that is the definition of snippets. And on this one, I used a piece of just drop cloth, like the painter's drop cloth, like a canvas. And you could just get it at any hardware store or anything like that, and it's super cheap. So that's a little tip right there. But so I just had that on the, you just need like a base for most, for most snippets. You definitely need like a base. And then I just took fabrics, glued them. You could take a glue stick and just kind of glue them down if you're going to sew them, just to kind of tack them in place. And I did, as you can see, a bunch of sewing around. But you can also just glue them. I mean, you could just take your Fabrifix glue or some Fabri-Tac or any kind of fabric kind of glue and glue them down. And you're good to go. Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys some examples of what I have here. And what's an example of a snippet, So these are fun to make. I just, I know I have some anywhere, but okay, so let's start off with just what we got, I know you guys all have this all hanging around you everywhere. So this is a bunch of just tea dyed, fabric dyed. I know it made me think of it because I have some of those snippets hanging around in here somewhere. But once you start digging in and looking at stuff and you're like, oh my goodness, I really need to use this, it's so much fun. I mean, you won't stop. So I know you guys have like just fabrics hanging around. So these are all just extra little fabrics that I've dyed and laces and different things like that. Another box of just fabrics and fun little things to play with and, all kinds of stuff, some of the netting, some of that stuff. And I could just go on for days. So there's that, right? And then we can switch over to kind of the paper. So I know the ends are great to use. I just have them in a big Ziploc here. And these are all just end cuts that you cut off the ends of your signatures as you're using them. So like, it's like, oh my gosh, you've taken the time to dye these papers to, like hand dye all this. And I did some with RIT dyes, I did some with sprays. And so these are just nice to keep. And you're like, I'm going to use them for something. Well, this is definitely something. And also your pretty papers, just the ends, you're like, oh my goodness, I don't want to throw this out because this is kind of cool. And this is part of a digital, or this is part of, the Tim Holtz scrapbook. And you're like, well, I want to keep, all this. So then you keep it in another container and you got this. So then you just have all this stuff hanging around. And then what you could do with the paper part is you can go and you can sew on it like this. And I've showed you guys this in another video. This is just a napkin that's decoupaged, and just different things like that. So you can just take your threads and you can throw your threads on top of it like that and make these into little snippets. So those are great to do. And oh, this is what I was trying to look for. This is what got me off on my little rant here. So that's what's on the front of these, is these are fun little built up little snippets that I made. And I can actually add that to the end screen if you guys would like to come see it, of how I make these. And they're pretty fun. So you can incorporate your threads, your cheesecloths, your dyed little fabrics, some papers. You can throw papers in it, your buttons, all kinds of stuff. Can definitely, here, I'm gonna put that over there. And yeah, so you can see, you could just do that, and that's a little snippet. It's just a bunch of little fabrics. Some are sewn. I even stapled it on there and put some gems. Glued those on the top of it, and these are great for so many uses, and I can show you those. I'll put that to the side. You could do the same with the paper and just snip it off, and then you got little snippets here of some coffee dyed papers. Sew some stuff together, glue it all together. You can cut it off, make little tabs with them. You can do all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's so many things. You can make this into a corner pocket if you wanted to. Let's see. Oh, I have another one. So I'm going to put that one over at the fabric. And it's keeping it organized is the hard part, because I always wind up just throwing it somewhere and having it somewhere, and it's like, where did I put that? And then I have to get all my bins out and start digging through everything. Okay, so now I made these little cute journals to add my snippets to come back to later to use them. So I'll show you these. These are kind of fun. And it's fun just to make a little journal to put them in. So I got a little pocket in the front here. And you can see that you can add some lace with some beads on it. So that's a great little snippet. And I just start with just a base of some kind of fabric or paper. I would suggest, if you're going to do paper, to build up with paper on top of it, just because you need something sturdy on the bottom. So if you're going to do paper, do lighter paper on top, or do some cardstock, then some paper on top, and maybe a piece of fabric here and there, or lace. And then if you're going to do fabric, I would do definitely, something sturdy, like some muslin or some linen, or some of the canvas paint cloth stuff. That works great too. So, and then you just build it up. You can take a piece of some jeans, look through your closet, see if you can find some fun lacy blouses you don't wear anymore, different things like that, and you can just incorporate however you want. So, I mean, these are just fun these are little snippets. So, there's those. And I don't think I put any in this one yet. So I just have these in the pocket, and I'll show you in the other little journal. I have some of those sewn in, but isn't that fun? I mean, you can see I did a little deli paper on here and did a little ruffle, and then you make a little ruffle, and then sew that on, glue it on. Just so many different options. Take your little pretty laces and make little snippets like that. So those are fun to do. Okay, and then in this one, I actually sewed some down. So what I did is just take them and I just tacked them down with a little piece of thread. And then when I'm ready to use this, I just come through with my stitch ripper or some scissors. You can take whatever. Maybe just have some stitch ripper, and you can just take it and pop it off, and then use that in your journals, however you want. But this is just a fun place to keep them. You can just take it and see it's just barely tacked on there. And you just pop it off when you're ready to use it. And it's kind of fun. It's just really neat to just go through and put these in here. I actually do have a video on making these little burlap cuties here. I will remember to put that on the end screen. If I forget to put anything on the end screen or down below, just remind me. Just, comment down below, and I'll do it for you guys. Because sometimes I get a little sidetracked. But, yeah, you could do some I just did some hand embroidery, little, X's or plus signs. And here's some more ruffles. So you could see, I mean, it's just fun little thing to do. I don't know if I have any more back here. But, and then I just keep, little extra pieces in here. So if you want to go travel, you could just put your needles right here. Just take a little needle. Probably not this big a needle, but... And just pop it down in here, and then you got your little needles, and then you got little pockets to put your little threads and stuff. So this is just a fun little snippet journal, So you can definitely... That's one way to use snippets, is to do a little snippet journal. And then you have a spot to put them. and keep them organized as we can get, right? Okay, so that's a little something there. Now, for bases you can use, like I talked about, you can do the canvas, you can do a piece of muslin, you could do a piece of lace. You could take a little piece of lace down and you could stack up with that. Like this would be, you know, great for some pretty papers. And, you know, you just can, it's such so much fun. You can just take it, start ripping and gluing. I mean, you could even do a glue stick or your glues and just take your papers. And all you do is just start stacking. I mean, you just start stacking and even have your lace show through. Have it so some of your lace, you know, stays poking out. And you just start grabbing papers in here. Just any little thing you can find. You know, this is the fun part, is you don't really need to think. There's no real, like, technical form to doing this, but the basics are you need just a background, just a sturdy piece of something to work with. You could just you need some scraps, which all of us have. And if you guys do not, if you're new to junk journaling and you don't really have any scraps or anything laying around, I actually will put some digitals down below, plus my Etsy link is down below. But I have some digitals in my Etsy shop that are more collage. They're more like a collage feel, because I take fabrics and I coffee dye them or tea dye them and put them down, and then I eco print. I did some eco printing with some leaves from my garden and stuff, and I just went around and eco print with some acrylic paints and made those all really pretty and did some word stampings on them and made some digitals out of them. So I got some fun collage papers. You guys could come and just get those, and then you can just take them and make some fun little snippets with them and have some little scraps and stuff. So, and once you purchase them, you can keep printing them off as many times as you want. So that's the fun part. So definitely I will put that down below, the link. My Etsy link's down below too. You can come check them out. But that's what a lot of these are just some little scrapbooks, digitals, some magazine pages are great. I mean, just kind of, just whatever you got, you know. You can just take something like this and do a little rip and put it down, and, you know, even take this and put down like a strip like that and just glue it. So there's just different things you could do. So that's one base you could do. And also ribbon. Just some ribbon. You can find this at Goodwill. You can find ribbon all over the place and just pretty cheap. And I already got a piece of tape on there. So you could just lay this down and, you know, just start. You can even take your fabrics and put it on here. See, these are always fun to put like on the top after you're, you know, done taking and adding what you want on the bottom part of it all. For some reason I can't find any pieces of scraps. I have like all the scraps, but you can just take it, you know, just a little snip, a little rip, put it down like that, you know, take a snip and a rip, and then glue another piece down, and then just take it. I mean, really, it's that easy. You just take it and just take your glue stick if you're going to sew it. You know, I recommend a glue stick, and just kind of just do that and keep building it up and go, oh, I like this little piece. You can even like kind of twist it and put it like that, you know. And then when you're all done, you can kind of pop that on the top, which is great. Take your beads that you have. Let me go grab some beads. So you got some beads here, you know. You can take your little beads and take your needle and incorporate them and sew them all around on it. You can even do some dangling off of it. So maybe some bigger wooden beads. Just different things like that. You can take your bulb pins. I like to take my bulb pins and put some beads on them, and then you can just take it and clip it to it like that and have it so it's just decorative on it. So that's definitely something great you could do. I mean, you can even take your little trinkets. Like this one says thank you. It's just a little trinket. You can hang that. You can just hang it off of here and have that hang just like that. That would be fun. And then we got, you know, the big fancy beads here. So you can get crazy with it and just get out your... Oop, I'm shaking you guys around. So just get out, you know, anything you got. I mean, some of these are cool. You could just do some big beads. You can even have one of these kind of little fun little things that you could just glue down on it. So that just makes it just kind of stand out and pop out. And I mean, you can even add some pretty cool stuff. You know, you could get all kinds of beads. I mean, for sure. These are just all fun to play with. So wait, we got that one, and then got some here. Now, these toppers are cool too. I think you can even take some of these toppers and, you know, glue some of those down just for interest. It's just those little, it's really little toppers, which are kind of cool. I mean, this is a bigger one, you can see it better. And these just go on top of beads, is what they're for. They just go like on top of your beads. But why not, you know? Why not take it and move some of this out of the way here. Take it, and you can even just pop, just for interest, like that. You can even take your needle and thread and just kind of sew it down. And I mean, you could see that you could just start with, make sure you guys can see that. But you could just go ahead and and all you do is just build it up. It's all about building it up with what you got and seeing how it works and just going with it, really. So what I need to do, and what I would like to do with you guys today, is probably in a time lapse, because I don't want this video to go all day long here. But so those are some examples of, you know, how to do it and everything. And I would like to make my snippet that I want to put into my feather journal, or on my feather journal, because I'll have it on the outside. And that is also a fun thing to do with snippets, is to take them and have your journal. Let's see. This is a journal I'm working on right now, but you could take your snippet, say this is a snippet, and you can have your journal, wrap it around it. And I got some fun snaps that I've been using in a little snap machine, and it just wraps around and snaps right on. So you can have that, and this is just, say, a fun snippet already finished and done. And you know, you can do it with paper, you could do it with fabrics, you could do it with laces. I mean, you could do it with all kinds of stuff, and then just add some embellishments on top. You know, like your buttons and your beads and your little gems. Like I got all these little rock gems and stuff like that. And see, I wanted to show you guys. So now I'm going to show you guys some fun things you can do with it. So you can also take this and use it as a tab on the side here. I think I even did that in here. See, in there. So they're fun to just glue down, already ready to go. And you just got your little tab on the side of your paper. Great idea. You can cut these, make a pocket. It's a great little pocket that you can have in here, and it's already ready to go. So you just snip it to your size that you want and make it into a pocket. You could cut it and make it a thinner like this, and make it a little bit longer and make it into a belly band. So you can have a little belly band here. I mean, you can decorate however you want. You could even make it into a corner pocket. If you wanted to cut it like a triangle and have this into a corner pocket, that works great. So there is just so many different possibilities that you can use. I mean, like these too. You just have them on paper, and it's just all your threads, and you can just snip off a piece right here and use it as a little tab just for the side of your thing. So I mean, this is just a fun way just to use up your scraps, put them into a snippet form, and just incorporate them into your junk journal however you see fit. I mean, there really is no wrong way to do any of this. So I hope that helped with some snippet ideas for you guys. And I'd love to hear in the comments if you guys are getting some information out of this, or if you have any other ideas that, I mean, I'm an open book. I'd love to hear some different ideas that you guys have. So please comment below. I love hearing from you guys. And hit the like button. That really helps me get out there, and so other people can see different snippet ideas and different ways to do it. And maybe people can contribute and write down below of different ideas that they have. I mean, I'm all for that. I love that. I love it. I love ideas. I love different ways to look at things and learn things. And we're always learning. We always are learning. So that's what I'm going to do now, is go ahead and get my muslin. I'm gonna go ahead and use this for the base today and get some fabrics that I want to work with. And I'm probably just gonna incorporate some fabrics today and we'll go from there. Okay, so as you can see, I just went ahead and went through my scraps and glued down just what I had, just with the glue stick, and now I'm gonna go to the sewing machine and probably just do some swirly stitches just back and forth and do all that, and then I will go to the next step of putting some stuff on top of that. All right, so I got it all sewn together here, and I just did some just wavy lines just all the way down. So you can do it however you want. I mean, you can even go up and down and, you know, do it all which way. You can even do it crazy like I did here on this one and just make it just however you want and do some fun stitching. And I even threw some rainbow threads in this one. You can see it like right here and stuff. So that's fun. I mean, so you could do it however you want. On this one, I just did a bunch of different ones. Now, if you want, this is the fun part. So, well, I mean, it's all fun, but this is the part where you can start building up, you know. Like, I took out some little snippets already made that are already pre-made, and you can just kind of grab them. And this is when you can glue them. You can just take your Fabrifix glue and you can pop them down, glue them wherever you want. This just gives us a little interest throughout. You know, you can even pop this on the front here, like that. Maybe even put some, you know, something behind it to kind of make it pop. You know, you can grab some of your laces and stuff, like a piece of this behind it probably would look really cool. It's like something like that can make it pop. Then I have my just little ruffle, little snippet rolls, if you will, and I just have them on a cork, a wine cork. It's just one of the like little wine corks, and I just have them all sewn together like that. So you can just take a piece off here, ready to go. So like this is why it's all nice just to kind of have pieces already ready, and you could take it and glue that down because it's already got sewing on it, or you know, you can glue everything down. You don't have to sew it all. And this one is just ready, and you could take it and pop it here if you want. The fun thing about shirts, this is like an old Hawaiian shirt, and I just cut out, you know, just cut it off and kept the buttons already on it. So this is already like ready to go. So you can just pop that down on there with a button on it, and then just another little snippet already made. So this is stuff you could just already have done and just glue it all down, and then it's just ready to go. So like this is another little snippet, where it's just kind of a mini version of this, and I just did it miniature. So, you know, you can just pop that down on there. And then this is when you can incorporate your buttons, your bulb pins that have little beads on it is great. Some more laces, you know, you can just throw some different lacing on there. You could even take some, I have some just cotton rope here that I dyed with coffee. You know, you could just take some of that and maybe fray it and just have that in there. You could, you know, sew that on somehow. There's just so many. I mean, this is just from my, I don't remember what it was from. Tomato bag or a Brussels sprout. Lemon. I think it was lemon. This is a lemon bag. And I kept this because this is fun to do with snippets and stuff, and it's durable. And why not recycle it, you know? Netting. Netting's great. Some of that you could throw down on it and just kind of make a, you know, little fun little thing happening. I mean, there is just endless possibilities, you know, just all kinds of stuff that you could do. So just go through your fabrics, go through your pretty papers. Yeah, just do anything. And so I even have my feathers that I already have with a little snippet on top of it. So I like pre-made the snippets with the little gems, and did some feathers underneath, and that's probably what I'm doing on the front here, because this is going to be for my feather journal. So I'm going to take one of my little feathers here, little snippets, and incorporate that to the front of there, so when it wraps around it'll snap and have a little feather on the front, little feather snippet. So I mean, there's just so many possibilities that you could do. And yeah, so I hope you found this informational. And if you guys can please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and you guys will see my next video when I post it. Like, comment, and share, and let's grow together. And keep on crafting.